Oh, hi. Sorry I didn't see you there. How can I help you? Oh, we spoke on the phone earlier, right? Okay, perfect. Well, go ahead and have a seat. Would you like some water or some coffee? Some coffee? Perfect. Let me make that for you. I'm actually on my third cup of the day, so you too. All right. Here we go. It's just a medium roast. Okay, perfect. All right, well, let me pull up the notes I took from our phone call. All right, let's see. So, you're looking to go to Italy. That's so exciting. I love Italy. I went there 2 years ago, and I don't know if you're like me, but every time I travel to a new country, I'm thinking I could live here. Italy was definitely one of those places for me. All right. And let me just check again your first and last name. Okay. Perfect. So let's go ahead and start getting some more information down. Let me pull up my program here. Okay, so we're looking at summertime. Do we have a length of stay? 2 weeks, okay. Have you been to Italy before? Summertime is a beautiful time of year to go. In some parts of the country, it can be pretty warm. Do you handle the heat well? Okay, so we're going to want to include some of northern Italy then, which has the Dolomites, which is where I went. Beautiful mountain range. Okay. And it will be warm enough to enjoy all of that gelato. I don't know if you're an ice cream or gelato eater, but I had one every single day. It was so good. All right. So from our notes from the phone call, you're looking to create the itinerary. Would you like us to book anything, including car rentals, hotels, excursions? Perfect. Now that is our specialty, is booking everything for you so everything is ready when you fly in. Okay, so you mainly want help in planning the route out. No problem. We will optimize this so you can get as much done and see as many places and do as many things as possible within those 2 weeks. So I will plan your route and then print out the exact path you'll take. Are you open to car rentals? Okay. So that will require an international driver's license. Do you want us to help you prepare that? Okay. I did do it when I visited. Honestly, having a car, if you're a confident driver, which I'm not necessarily, but I didn't have too much trouble in Italy. And I don't speak Italian, and it was still okay. Just know that, if you grew up in the US, in Europe, in many European countries, they are very strict with their traffic laws. I did get a speeding ticket because they have cameras all over the highways, and they will give you a ticket for going 5 kilometers over. They're very strict, so something to keep in mind. You're a careful driver, though? Perfect. Yeah, the public transit system in Italy is pretty good, but sometimes, you can't beat a car. in terms of getting to more remote areas, maybe hiking spots, things like that. All right, so we will get that set up for you. Okay, while that program is loading, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you like to do? What are your hobbies? How would you describe your travel style? Is it more luxurious? Is it more, camping, roughing it, adventuring? Somewhere in between? Okay, perfect. Let's see. Just to note that down, what's the more extreme end of the activities you'd like to do? Are you open to camping, hiking, bungee jumping? Okay. And then on the more luxurious side, do you like spas or Michelin star restaurants? Okay. Yeah, you can't go to Italy without trying many, many restaurants. I remember when I was in some small Italian city, I don't remember the name, and we were just walking around, and we walked past this building that had a plaque on it that said a Michelin star restaurant. The restaurant was empty. It was really strange. So we're like, oh, a Michelin star restaurant. I've never eaten at one before. So we went in, again, empty, no wait, and the prices were super reasonable. It was like 12 euros for a pasta dish. So good. So good. I had this perception that Michelin star restaurants, you had to do a reservation, etc. No, at least in my experience. So we will try to find some off the beaten path. All right, it looks like our program is ready. How do you like the coffee? Oh, good. Okay, so let me just enter everything you just told me in. So we do like hikes or scenic walks, but not anything like via ferratas or bungee jumping. Okay. And you want to try some true authentic Italian food, but not necessarily food that'll break the bank, right? Okay. And I forgot to ask you, are you going by yourself or with others? A solo trip. I love that. I haven't solo traveled to Europe before, but I've met people who have, and they said it was a life-changing experience. So that is super fun. All right. And one last question. What kind of budget are we working with for 2 weeks? I don't know if you've thought about it, or if you would like, if you want me to propose several different plans from least expensive to most expensive. Okay, so you do have a budget. So is that absolute max, or okay? That is definitely doable. In terms of Europe as a whole, Italy can be on the more affordable side depending on what you do. Especially if you do choose to do some days just sightseeing, walking around one of their mountains or lakes. Okay, the cities are so beautiful, you could just spend the whole day wandering around the city. All right. So as summary, you are going to Italy for 2 weeks this summer, and you're looking for a mix of adventure and relaxation, right? Perfect, and we have your budget here. Are there any cities or areas of Italy that you know you want to visit? Rome, of course. So, sorry? Oh, I actually haven't been to Rome. When I went, it was more for a rock climbing, camping type thing in the north of Italy. So I've never been to southern Italy, but we have excellent resources, and I have a few coworkers who have, so don't worry too much about that. But I did spend 2 weeks in the north of Italy, so I can give you personalized, advice, recommendations for that area. Okay, Rome is on my to-do list, so the art and the museums and the history. Oh, it sounds so good. All right, so outside of Rome, anything else? The coast, some sort of coast. Perfect. Okay, let me just get that. So we're gonna start selecting cities because it's really easy to plan a route based off of cities. Though when you do head into the northern area near the Dolomites, the cities get sort of smaller, especially north of Milan. But it's still good to have a general area of where you want to stay. Okay, so we want to start our trip off in Rome. The Amalfi Coast. Oh, I've heard that area is beautiful, so let's go ahead and add that. And you said you were interested in Milan. Okay, perfect. And Cinque Terre. That's very popular right now. You will be going in summer to that area. I went at the beginning of the high season, and it wasn't too bad, but I have heard that the summer can be a little touristy. But if you want my recommendation, if you do all the trails between the 5 villages in Cinque Terre, you won't run into too many crowds, but we'll try to plan that around the weather and the high season, so let's see. Okay, so now we'll be flying into Naples so that you can be on the coast. It's good after such a long flight to arrive in a relaxing beach city. Rome is a little chaotic, I've heard. All right. Okay, so let me grab this binder that I have. That has a map of Italy, so we can look at this down here. And it also has some pictures of some of our recommended cities and destinations. So I'm actually going to open this binder so that we can look at them together. Okay. So you're thinking of starting down here by the Amalfi Coast, going up to Rome, and then Cinque Terre, which is up here, and ending in Milan. Or not ending in Milan, but ending in the northern part of the country. So one of our services for this first appointment is to print you out a route of the tentative travel plan. So let me enter a few more things into our program and it will generate the best route, and you will be renting a car, right? Okay. Once again, I highly recommend the car rental. We're going to look at prices and send you several options with different companies. The nice thing is most of them are right near the airport. If not, we will arrange a taxi to take you from the airport to the car rental station. sometimes the car rental station will pick you up and take you to the location, which is how mine was. Okay, really quick, do you have a car size preference? Okay, so a lot of the time in Europe, they upcharge for automatic. Do you know how to drive a manual? Oh, excellent. Okay, that will save you some money. And the international driver's license we are working on. All right, so we're looking to start in the south, go through Rome, potentially through the coastal west into the northern part of the country. So let's go ahead and enter all of that. Okay, so it is going to generate the suggested itinerary and we can revise it, look at it, and see if you like it, okay? We actually just bought this software, but I've been really happy with it so far. So, while that is getting ready, I'm going to look through some of the cities that it recommends. So obviously, we want to look at Rome, Cinque Terre, Pisa. Okay, so let's go through some cities together and then you can tell me which ones stand out to you, okay? And then I'll enter it into the program and we can get an optimized route. These are cities that we as an agency personally recommend. So first we have Siena. Siena. Beautiful, right? It's got that lovely, warm colored architecture. Again, this is Siena. I'll show you on the map where that is. So here we have Rome, and Siena is just north of it. Here's another city that we recommend. Can you guess which one it is? Maybe this. I'll give you a hint. Correct, this is Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I have heard rumors that this tower is leaning and kind of falling at a rate that maybe it won't be around forever. So it could be good to go see it while it still has integrity. And it is much bigger than you would expect, honestly. So another beautiful city, Pisa. And then we have Cinque Terre, excuse me. I'm working on my Italian. Which of course is considered one of the most beautiful coastal regions in Italy. I don't know if you watch Disney movies, but the Disney movie Luca was based on this region. So I have been here, and I can say it is one of the most beautiful regions on the planet. you're set on Cinque Terre. Okay. And then next, we have Modena. You've heard of Modena? Okay, so you would like this to be on your itinerary? I don't know for sure, but I feel like a Shakespeare play took place here. Once I enter that you would like to go here into our software, it'll generate a whole list of things to do. So that's good. So we have Cinque Terre, Modena, Siena. Okay. And then we have the city of Florence. Again, beautiful. You will find that many of the cities in Italy are beautiful and have such a rich history. Okay, so you've done some research on Florence and maybe pass? Okay. Okay, and then we have the city of Parma. Okay, you've also read about Parma. Let's go ahead and look at it on the map. Alright, so we have Parma right here. We're thinking of flying into Naples, then to Rome, Siena, then Cinque Terre, which is in this area. And along this route from south to north, we also have Florence and Pisa. Okay, perfect. Let me just enter that in. It sounds like you've done your research, which is perfect, because then we can just go ahead and take care of all the logistical parts. So all the rentals, the hotels, and the route planning. So okay, it is generating a route, so let's give it a second. And it is showing me actually, so since we inputted that you like music and concerts, it's saying that there is a music festival in Rome during the 2 weeks that you want to go. It's called the Caracalla Summer Festival, and the venue is actually in the Roman Baths. Does that sound interesting to you? And it runs from May to August, so that's actually perfect timing. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a note, and then I'll send the lineup to you. See if you're interested. Okay, and actually a wine festival is happening in August in Florence. Do you drink? Do you like wine? Okay, perfect. All right, I will add that into the software as well. All right, so it is going to generate a map here. Okay, there we go. So this is your route, starting in Naples, going through Rome, Florence, Cinque Terre, Milan, and then ending in Venice. Now this is our first pass through. So of course, once we actually look at all of the hotels, the length of driving, etc., it'll give us, or we'll generate a more precise map later on. But does that look good to you? I will be including this in your package today, so I'll be sending you home with a folder, some notes, this map, and later you'll be receiving an email with all of these details, including the car rental place, options, hotel options, activity options. It does take a while for this to generate, so you'll probably get it tomorrow. Let me just double check that we have your email. Okay. Can you just confirm your email really quick? Okay. At Gmail? Oh, okay. Hotmail. Okay, perfect. So, let's go ahead and include this map. Okay, so we have a tentative itinerary. Have you worked with a travel agency before? Okay, good. So you know that it takes like 1 or 2 sessions to fully nail down all the details. But this is an excellent start. So I will be sending home with you, again, the notes and the map, and I will be emailing you some options to look at to really nail down. You sounded kind of excited about that music festival, right? I think that sounds so cool. And just out of personal curiosity, is this your first time traveling alone? It is? Oh, how exciting. How do you feel about that? Okay, that's almost exactly how I feel about it. It's intimidating and scary, but also an amazing chance for reflection and independence and personal development. I think Italy is a great option for the first solo trip. It's not going to hold your hand necessarily and guide you through every single little thing, but it's still relatively safe, easy to navigate. Do you happen to speak any other language? Just English? Okay, no problem. I was going to say if you spoke a little French or Spanish or Portuguese, you could probably read a little Italian. Okay, you're going to try learning a little Italian. I think that makes such a big difference, even if you don't become conversational, which is very hard actually. But just learning how to say thank you or that one, goodbye, table for one. I think that makes a big difference. So I actually lived in Mexico for a couple years, and that was my only experience. I was there with my fiance, but I did do some stuff independently. That's my only experience with solo travel, but I did eventually, after 2 years, reach a conversational level in Spanish, which really helped. And even if you just try, a lot of the time the people from that country really appreciate it. And like if you get to a certain level, you can kind of hodgepodge sentences together. You're pretty nervous? Have you ever been to a big city in the US? So as someone who's traveled quite a bit, in a lot of ways, big cities are the same. You do research on where the safe parts are. You do research on, which metro stops are safe to go to. And we can do all that, by the way. But you just use discretion. You be cautious at night. Don't drink too much at night and get lost. Just like a lot of very basic safety tips that you would apply in any big city across the world. Some are more safe than others. So of course, all of our planning will involve putting you in safe neighborhoods, safe areas you can operate with a minimal level of Italian. So don't worry about that. Living in Mexico was so cool. But honestly, when I visited Italy, I really thought I could live there. Do you have any, like, things you want to buy? Do any shopping or anything in Italy? Souvenirs for the family, of course. I actually get things like this every time I go to Mexico. I really like artisan work. These beads are a really common artisan craft in Mexico, and when I saw these, I just couldn't even imagine how long it took to make something like this, so I got it. And this teapot here was from a friend who visited Japan, and I'm actually going to be visiting Japan at the end of this year. I'm very, very excited. Japan's on your list too. I'm nervous. I've never been to Asia, and I've never been in a country where I couldn't at least read the written alphabet, so we'll see. Do you have Google Translate on your phone? Good. If you pay for, and we can set this up for you, if you pay for a eSIM, if your phone's compatible with that, you will have data all throughout the country, and you can use Google Translate. And there's even like a camera function where you just hold your camera up to the sign and it will translate the Italian to English for you. I use that a lot for menus. Okay, so let me get that folder together for you. Okay, so here we have the folder. We're going to put your itinerary in here and some notes. And this can be the folder that you use to keep all of your recommendations in. You can even keep your passport in it, all your printed, reservations, copies of your driver's license, etc. So there you go. I am so excited for you to go to Italy. It was one of the best trips of my life. So let me just really quick plan your next appointment, and this could potentially be the final one once you overview all the things we sent you, and then we will book everything and you'll be all good to go. You're being very proactive by planning this a few months early, so that's excellent. Okay, so do you have availability next week? Okay, perfect. 2? Okay. Alright, we are all set. If you have any questions over the material I've put in here, or will send you via email, go ahead and shoot me an email or call me. You have my number, right? Okay, perfect. Well, I am so excited to be working with you, and I'm so happy you chose us as your travel agency. Oh, good. I love hearing that. Okay. Well, I will see you next week.